Welcome back, everyone. So our next session is on innovation and problem solving by Mr. Nanda Kumar. Let me introduce to the session speaker. Mr. Nanda Kumar is the founder and director of Covayon, London, United Kingdom. Covayon specializes in delivering IT solutions across industry verticals such as banking and financial services, IT and ITES, staffing and manufacturing, by providing services on HCM, cloud, analytics, and mobility. Under Mr. Nanda's leadership, Covayon has grown manifold in the past decade in terms of manpower, skill set, and clients. Currently, they serve over 200 customers across 45 countries and has provided job opportunities for over 200 college graduates. Covayon also has offices at Florida, USA, and in India at Chennai, Bangalore, and Coimbatore. He has been bestowed with the Distinguished Technopreneur Award from National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development in its 7th National Entrepreneurs Day Awards 2020. So I would now invite Mr. Nanda Kumar to deliver the session titled Innovation and Problem Solving.
Hi, thanks. So, shall we start the session or shall we wait for 5 more minutes for
No,
everyone
we'll
to
start
join?
the session. Everyone will be joining now anyways. We can start, Mr. Nanda Kumar.
Okay, yeah, thanks. First of all, thanks for this opportunity for me to provide a session on innovation and problem solving. A brief intro of myself. I am Nanda Kumar, founder and director of Covayon Consulting. We have offices in UK, USA, and in India. I'm responsible for the Covayon's inception, growth, and provide strategic governance. And have a rich experience in client relationship, application development, support, training, and also the project and delivery management. And we'll move on to the next slide. So this is the fourth day of a 6-day national online faculty development program organized by OTBI and NBFF. And I would like to thank Ganeshan sir for organizing this wonderful program. So before we go into what is innovation and problem solving, I just want to give a brief about what is the application development, what we are currently doing in our organization. And in this particular sessions, I'll be sharing more about my experience and my organization's experience. So we do a lot of application development for our customers as part of an innovation and also problem solving. So we call it as an inception lab. And as part of the application development, the first step we do is do a planning. In the planning, we organize a team who will be of various skills, various backgrounds, and we will come up with an team formation. So that is the first step in application development, which is the planning, which includes team members from a technical background, team members from project management, the subject matter experts, or the business users, and also people who can influence the application development, like quality control team, management team, etc. Once we have all these team members, so then we have a kickoff session, which will be introducing every team members and also the tools we are going to use, the technologies that will be provided, etc. And then we go into the design phase. In the design phase, the teams, which includes your subject matter experts or the business experts and the technology team, project leaders, developers, everyone will be sitting in a particular conference room. We call it as a conference room pilot as well. So we'll be sitting together and then coming up with an approach how we want to tackle a particular problem. This not necessarily is for application development. This can be used for any sort of problem solving. or any sort of new ideas we have come up with, or anything which we want to solve it. And then we go into the build phase. Sorry, before that, as part of the design phase, the output of a design phase is uh, uh, probably we call it as business requirement and functional design document. So we document all the requirements, or the high level design, and then we create a business requirement and functional design document. So far, we are talking more about the functionality of what the end user will be looking at. Once we have the design in place, then we start with the building of the design. So which includes a lot of technical activities of creating the solution, identifying the right softwares, and actually building the whole product. So that is going to be the major phase in a application development lifecycle. Once we build the solution, then we will deploy it. Deployment in the sense making it to the production or giving it to the end users. So far, our approach is predominantly based on IT solutions or IT delivery, but the same approach will be for any other industry. Let it be manufacturing, let it be production industries, or let it be retail industry. Uh, this the development life cycle is going to be more or less the same. And this type of development life cycle is called as a waterfall model. And once we deploy it to the production environment, then we launch it so the customers or the end users can actually use the application. And once they start using the application, we'll provide continuous support. As part of the continuous support, we will provide enhancements to the users, etc. And I see someone has raised the hand. I would like to answer them if there is any particular question. Um, just want to understand. So can you please let me know the question? Rhoda, I believe, raised the hand.
Mr. Nanda, you can answer the queries at the end of the session.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, you can just continue on the PPT.
Continue this session.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
yeah,
continue
sure.
the session.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
So at our organization, what we do is that we love to build the products, and we build the products you love. So a couple of examples are we built and delivered a nice solution for a healthcare industry. We built and delivered a solution which is used as a platform to record all the incidents happening in healthcare, like the coronavirus tracking type of application we have built and delivered to Tamil Nadu healthcare department, which is a department of healthcare, and which is being widely used to track any sort of pandemic responses. Uh, this is one of the recent example which we have done, but on top of that, we have delivered 100 plus products to various customers, right from a beauty salon to cycle manufacturers and suppliers, and lot more. To large institutions like Mercedes, where they want to track HR solutions. So we have delivered products for them as well. So our primary goal is to bring your product idea to life. So the customers who come to us, they come with an idea in their mind, and we help them taking through the journey of application development and entrepreneurship. to help them understand how the idea can be made to a life, and also they can also be an entrepreneur by bringing that to life. And this is not just about a technology, but also enabling everyone in the whole life cycle to have their ideas used by others as well. So that's why bringing a product idea to life is very important. And in subsequent slides, I'll be talking about what is an innovation, what is a problem solving, and why this application development is very important. And we use certain modern engineering technologies, like using the latest tools and technologies available in the market. And we use something called as a microservices driven framework, which means like you can continuously innovate. Let's say you want to build a car. We start with building a skateboard, and then to a machinery, and then to a car. So it is called as a microservice driven architecture, wherein part by part, you can improve on your innovation. And the next important factor is launch early, because whenever you have an idea, you need to take it to the market at the earliest. Because if you wait for a very long time, there will be always competitive products, much better product, etc., which will be overtaking your solution. So the idea for involving people like us at the early stages is how we can help our customers and partners to take their idea as a product to the market. So that is going to be a very important step in our life cycle. And as soon as we take their product to the market, we always help in providing support, enhancing their solutions and ideas. So we'll go to the next slide of innovation. Just give me 2 seconds. Okay. So in terms of the innovation, what is an innovation? So idea that translates into a useful working model is called as an innovation. Innovation, it is more about thinking about what is the problem and coming up with an out-of-box solution. So it may be an enhancement or something better than the current idea, or it can be completely new. So there are a lot of new solutions or new products which comes up in the market. Right from, if you take the evolution of human, right from the wheel that has been invented, from the latest ones of rocket science or launching someone to moon, Mars, etc., is all part of innovation. So we understand there is a problem, or there will be something future is requiring, and then we come up with the ideas, and then we build on top of that. That comes as part of the innovation. And most of the time, problem solving comes first, which is like you have an immediate problem or an issue or a concern that needs to be addressed first. So you first look into that problem and immediately look at saying that what or how I can help this particular situation. And then you improvise on it. And most of the times innovation is a byproduct of a problem solving. Okay. And why there is a need for innovation, which is $1 million question. And businesses, entrepreneurs, they need innovation to survive in the market, or to take their ideas into life. They need innovation. Okay. And why it is very much required, especially in this entrepreneurship world, is you need to adjust to the evolving problems or evolving environment. So to tackle all these things, innovation is going to be the first step in your ladder. And innovation is not just about the IT industry, what I'm talking about today, but it can be on any industry. It can be in a restaurant, it can be a clothing industry, or the IT where we predominantly serve our customers and partners. And we want to sustain in this competitive market. So innovation needs to be part and parcel of any organization. Uh, Broadly, you can classify IT organizations into two different verticals. One is the product industry, one is the service industry. Product industry comes up with a lot of solutions or equipments that will be helping in solving a particular problem to the customer. Say, for example, we serve our customers on Oracle products. So Oracle database is a product, Oracle Cloud Solution is a product, Oracle PeopleSoft is a product, Oracle eBiz is a product. These are the products which are being built by a company to help their customers. So that is called as a product company. And there are companies which will take these products which are built to the end customers. So they are called as a consulting companies, they are called as service oriented companies. You can call them or name it as you like. Considering India as an example, you have a lot of service companies like Tata Consulting Services, Tata Consultancy Services, Infosys, Wipro, and many companies who are born in India, and they take a lot of the products which are built by other customers, other companies to their customers, to helping them. And over a period of time, the product companies and a solution company, they merge together and they form a sort of fusion, which is a product company provides a bit of services, and a service company also comes up with innovative ideas and small products which will help the customers. Okay, so those are like uh, the product and services industry merged together. This is the major one which is helping the IT industry as a future. As an entrepreneur, you also need to think about product, building any particular solution, and also at the same time services, how you can take the products to the market. Okay? So that's about innovation and problem solving. So this slide, we will briefly talk about what are the levels of innovation and problem solving. First, level one, which is the bottommost given over here, is a problem solver. So problem solver is someone saying that, okay, they see a problem or a issue and they immediately look into it, and then they say like, okay, there is a problem and I can fix this particular problem. That is called as a problem solver. Say for example, and most of the times problem solvers are reactive approach. So you find a problem and then you try to find a particular solution to it. So they come as a problem solver, and for them the main outcome is how quickly and how efficiently they can provide the solution, so the key stakeholders are happy. Giving an example of problem solver, today the whole industry or the whole world is being affected by COVID. So when it happened back in 2020, early 2020, I think February or March is a period in which it was first detected in India, and then they tried to find a solution. So what the government initially did, so they told, okay, you need to lock down yourself so you can prevent or stop the virus spreading to many others. So that is called as a problem solver. So immediately they come up with an option saying that how they can uh, control the issues. So they imposed lockdown, and places where I'm sitting, like in UK. So initially they put it into various tiers of lockdown, saying that if there is someone infected, the whole family needs to be isolated. So the first, uh, the virus is controlled within the family, and then a sort of national level lockdown. So only the essential workers needs to go out of their house and they can do any sort of activities they wanted. And this was followed not just in one country but across the globe. And you might have seen countries like UK, China, and all, they create a lot of makeshift hospitals. So immediately they converted giving an example, like UK, they converted a whole set of a football ground to an hospital or a makeshift hospital. So they had an exhibition center, like where you conduct exhibitions, forums, etc. They converted that to a hundreds and hundreds seater of hospital. So that is again a problem solver. So you identify a problem and you immediately give a solution to it. So that is called as a problem solver. Uh, and then comes your problem preventer. In the problem preventer, what they were doing is identify or have the learnings from the problem, whatever has been uh, happened or they have encountered, and then they also identify what are the potential areas where it could reoccur, or something which is not in their watch list or they have not experienced so far. uh, just thinking about that and also coming up with innovative ideas. So some of the outcomes will be market and operational risk are managed and mitigated. Uh, so when this pandemic happened back in March 2020, so they immediately imposed a lockdown. But at the same time, countries like UK, what they've identified was what is going to happen when people are inside their home. What will happen if nobody is going to a job? What will happen to their food? What will happen to their revenue or income? How the medical industry will react? So that's what they identified, and each places they uh, like assign certain key people or ministers. So finance minister or chancellor, here in UK they call it as. So he identified what will happen if the business is closed for months. So he identified it and he came up with a solution. And there is a group of scientists who worked together and told like what happens when when this virus reoccurs. What if there are mutations of this virus? So they identified a solution. And also in the border control, like what will happen to the people coming in and going out of the country, how this virus is going to affect them. So the borders control, all these things were taken into picture, and they come up with a problem prevention. So for businesses, they told like, okay, you will get loans, you will be able to pay employees with furlough schemes, like you can give absence, but still government will support, etc. And in the second step of scientists who they want to prevent a second wave coming up, they try to do as much as they can, but also they predicted what needs to be done in case it reoccurs. Third, closing the borders. How everyone needs to come in and go outside of the country at each stages. What are the testing mechanisms we can do, and tracing mechanisms, etc. So they try to do the test and trace, etc. Test and trace facility, which will track every patient or everyone who gets affected by this virus. And third will be the continuous improver. Uh, and whenever they identified these issues, they didn't stop at saying that, okay, we have done our part and rest is others. They didn't stop there. But at the same time, what they did was they also tried to identify areas where it can be continuously improved. What are the new steps we can bring in? What are the new solutions you can do it? So when initially the testing of coronavirus came in to identify whether you have coronavirus or not, it took probably, I think, 2 days or so. And they kept on improvising it, and now you can get the results in hours, if not days. Okay, so that sort of continuous improvement was implemented, and at the same time, at an economical level, also they tried to improve it. And those are the small steps which keeps everyone motivated, continuously improving. And the last step, it's all about preparing for the future. So what happens when there is another pandemic? Where we should be in another 10 years as an organization? So these are some of the questions which will be asked, and there will be a lot of breakthroughs, product strategies and ideas coming up in the level of innovation and problem solving. So the first problem solving, I talked about the pandemic, taking in case of automobile as an industry where we predominantly help our customers. So the first problem solving was about how to give a better, how to give a mode of transportation from one place to another. So that's how the cars, I'm just talking about a car industry or within the automobile sector. So that's how a car was invented. And they found certain problems within the car, let it be the driver safety, or let it be the pollutions which happens, etc. And they improvised on it by bringing airbags, better fuel cells, and they kept on innovating within that. I just told about the fuel cell, like the customers where we work with, Mercedes, they are in the industry for decades and decades. They keep on improvising it, right from the wheels all the way to the driving comfort. And also, they didn't stop here. They also think about the future, because there are a lot of fossil fuels which are being used, and how that can be converted from a fossil fuel like a petrol, diesel, etc., to something which you can use it as a renewable energy, like a battery cells, fuel cells, hydrogen cells, etc., or battery. As you know, like there are a lot of battery operated vehicles which are coming up in the market. Tesla is one example. Within India market, there are a lot of scooters, the battery operated scooters which are coming up. So that comes in the future industries of automobile. Taking about an IT. So initially, as you know, like the revolution for computers started back in 1960s. So where they talked about having IBM type of machines, because that's one example which strikes my mind immediately. So IBM was one of the leading manufacturers of the computers at those times. And then they kept on innovating, and then any sort of softwares which we use, let it be Oracle, Microsoft, SAP, etc., those were like continuous improvements from those uh, industries. But at the same time, what we are going to do it in the future is what everyone is striving, including people like us, entrepreneurs. uh, the main reason we want entrepreneurs is to define what we are going to do in the next 5 years, 10 years, etc. That's how we like let it be NFED or person like me want to help people like you to go through this journey. And people like us, where we can support you, is we have gone through this in a sort of cycle where I've told about the development life cycle, and we can share our experience how you can streamline your innovation or streamline your entrepreneurship, and we can help you gain the knowledge and take it to the next level. Okay. um, I will go to the next slide, where we talked about problem solving, continuous improvement, and game changer at various levels. The first, we'll go through it. Problem solving. So what we are going to do is that we are going to identify or define a problem statement, which comes as your requirement, and then you list out the possible solutions for that problem. So if it's a broken wire, as you could see in this picture, so we will come up with the possible solutions. Can we just tape it together, or do we need to replace this wire, or do we need to look for better solutions like Wi-Fi or anything else? And then we make a decision saying that which one will be effective towards a problem. As you know, there is not a single solution for any given problem. There will be many solutions. And as an entrepreneur or a decision maker, you need to make decisions various depending on various factors. Some of the factors include how quickly I can give a solution, or how cost effectively we can give a solution, or how the solution, whatever I'm going to provide, is going to last for a longer period. So based on this, you can come up with metrics, like a scoring mechanism, which will say like, okay, uh, I want a quick solution, but at the same time, I have a budget of only X dollars. And then based on that, you can give a scoring, and then you identify the right solution and you start applying the solution. When you start applying the solution, while the solution is being applied or the solution is being used, you need to also have the contingency plans. Whatever possible solutions you have come up with, you need to always keep a track of it. So sometimes any sort of problem, you come up with various solutions. So some of the solutions, it will be like a short-term fix or mid-term fix or the long-term fix. So based on that, you can come up with a solution, and also your contingency or monitoring plan will be based on the medium-term and long-term solutions as well. And believe me or not, the innovation and problem solving is not going to happen overnight. We having more than a decade of experience in helping our customers, we always try to come up with more innovation, more solutions. And that's how you keep on continuously improving your service to your end customers, your products to the end customer. Okay. So this is more about the problem solving, which is the level one in terms of the innovation and the solutioning or the problem solving. So the next is on the continuous improvement. Um, in the continuous improvement, you innovate ideas to strengthen the core competencies. So taking case of automobile industry, so they kept on innovating. Formula One racing, as you know, like that's a pinnacle of innovation in terms of automobile industry. Lot of innovation that has come from the Formula One has been used by road cars or the cars which we are doing it on day in and day out basis. Let it be the braking mechanism, let it be the horns which are being used, or the structure of the car, the base which is being used. They keep on innovating. And what are the innovation that has been used in the racing that can be taken to the um, road cars or the street cars or the fancy cars which are being used. Similarly, on the technology side, every organization needs to have an innovation team, or they need to spend a bit of budget towards innovation. Organizations like us, who are predominantly service oriented industry, we spend 10% of our budget or the organization's revenue towards innovation. A minimum of 10% will help us ensuring that we support our customers on the current scale, but also help in improvising or providing new solutions. So this is on a thumb rule of service industries like us. But if you are becoming an entrepreneur, you need to keep that in mind. So whatever money you earn or the revenue you generate, you take a portion of it and keep it for innovation. So you form a dedicated team, or within the existing team, you set the goals to come up with new ideas, new innovation. At the same time, you measure the innovation which comes in. Okay. And the second is on extending the core business to catch up with the current market trend. So I'm just giving an example of how we started and then where we are currently. So when we started back in 2010, our primary focus was on helping ERP customers, or probably a resource planning softwares that help our customers. So we provided services, support, and upgrades to our existing customer. But at the same time, when we started, it was more about having a good desktop, which was a primary objective for a customer, which runs the software, or where the software can be accessed by the end user, or application can be accessed by the end user. So that was our initial thought process. In 2011-12, all this smartphones came into picture. A lot of social industries like Facebook, Twitter, and everything, they picked up speed. So our focus turned from just providing a software to the end user to how efficiently we can take the solution to the latest trend. At that time, the word was SMAC, social, mobile, analytics, and cloud. Social, like how efficiently you can take your solution to the peers within the organization and outside the organization. Say, for example, even a job posting or a job requirement for a new hire, how we can spread the news to the entire world at the quickest possible time. So that was one of the objective which was solved in a recruitment industry. Second was mobile. So when we built the initial software, it was built to run on a desktop or a laptop browser to the maximum. And then when this mobile came in, our thought process completely changed. How quickly we can take it to the smartphones, and the screen, how you can change the resolution, how you can condense the condense in the sense compress the content and take it to the smartphones. So that was one of the key factor. And then analytics. What are the various mechanisms or metrics you can give it to the customer? So that was one of the key item which we discussed. And cloud, how you can make this system accessible across the globe, but also at the same time with the right security, right rules around it. So that was one of the things. So that is our experience back in 2011, 12, 13, I would say. In 2014, immediately the urge for the cloud computing started. So the data centers, which were sort of servers, computers, which was running in a particular customer's data center, or a particular PC which is used within the office, or a server which is used in the office, how we can take it to the cloud. So that was the innovation. So a lot of as a service model came up. So Oracle themselves released a lot of cloud softwares, software as a service, platform as a service, database as a service, infrastructure as a service type of model. So we took that solution to the customers. So that is aligning to the market trend. So now as an organizations, we are doing a lot of automation, RPA, robotics process automation, whatever the human task which is being carried out or mundane task which is being carried out, we are trying to automate it using robots, or probably the digital robots, I would say. And also on the cognitive science. Cognitive science includes your machine learning, algorithms which will help in predicting what will happen. So those sort of areas is what we are investing currently. So as part of that, over a period of 10 years, we have seen from where we started as just a solution provider to what we are currently, like a cognitive engine, cloud service providers, or within Covion, we have built a cloud product which will help our customers as well. So we anticipated the problems and we are helping our customers. Similarly, as an entrepreneur, if you're looking at, you need to anticipate the problems and also align to the market trend. By this way, what you will be doing is you will be reducing the risk within the organization, provide short-term solution, and also look at the competitive advantage over your peers or your competitor or someone who will be coming up new. And also it helps yourself in sustaining to the future market. That's on the continuous improvement. And I will go to the game changer quickly. So as a game changer, as an organization, what we do is that we have idea forums. So where we ask a lot of sessions, or we have a lot of innovative sessions within the organization. Weekly meet, quarterly meet, monthly forums where we present the ideas. So we ask everyone in our organization to come up with ideas, and you need to have a repository to collect these ideas. And no idea is, is a bad idea. So you need to encourage, as an entrepreneur or as a lecturer or as a research scholar, you need to promote the whole organizations to come up with ideas. So you build a repository with all ideas can be taken into account. And you start evaluating those ideas. So that's what I was talking about, the monthly forums and quarterly meets, where you take each and every idea which has come in and you start evaluating it. So you do the brainstorming sessions. So you can, whoever is the idea owner, you ask them to present their ideas and see how it can help the customers. And then you do a SWOT analysis. SWOT is nothing but strength, weakness, opportunity, and the risk involved. So you do the SWOT analysis, and as part of strength, you identify how a particular idea can help your customer. What are the strengths involved? Weakness, it not necessarily within these ideas, but you also identify what are the current weaknesses. And you identify the opportunities within that weakness, so strength, and then the threat. Threat is nothing but what happens when you don't implement this idea. So that is your threat as part of the SWOT. So you do a nice metrics and you come up with a scoring. And then you can be able to quantify it, so that will be easier to quantify it and take it to the future. Okay. And one of the key thing, or my suggestion would be to avoid group thinking in terms of ideas, etc. Because sometimes what happens in a group thinking is someone's idea will superimpose on others as well. Giving an example, if I take a mobile and say like, okay, the mobile is white in color, so everyone will be thinking like, okay, this is a white color mobile. But actually, if you go into the detail, you will be able to identify the various spectrums within the mobile, various colors in the mobile, etc. So that's how you can take individual ideas and also take everyone's input. So you can do a 6-hat thinking as well. 6-hat is one of the popular discussion forum where you can have a lot of group members participating, but with a different perspective. One person will be encouraging, one person will be challenging the idea. At the same time, one person will be evaluating how efficiently you can even fine tune this idea, etc. So you can do that sort of forums. And once you do the evaluation, then you start identifying or prioritizing it. As I mentioned, scoring is one of the best areas where you can quantify a particular idea. And then based on the scoring mechanism, you can do the implementation and you go for a solution. The solution It can be a breakthrough innovation or a continuous improvement, or it can be just giving a solution to the current problem. And the next is about modernizing your idea. So you start with a detailed iterative plan. As I mentioned, whenever you come up with the idea, you present a forum where you can come up with ideas, understand the potential and growth uh, for that idea on implementing it, and also you understand or evaluate the limitations. And then you identify the right team and address it, and you build a strategic roadmap. Once you build the strategic roadmap, you need to start building a MVP, minimum viable product. Giving an example, probably you can search yourself in internet, but giving an example, let's say you want to build a car as a product. You need to start building MVP as a skateboard where you have wheels and you have a platform where you can travel. And then you start improvising those ideas from a skateboard to something which has a roof, and then which has a controllable steering, and then you start with, and then you progress at building a best car in the market. So minimum viable product, defining the minimum viable product is one of the key factors in ideas. For example, to build a nice car, it's not about building the best steering wheel or a tire or a base. It's all about having a product which can actually help in travel or transportation. So that should be your focus. And once you have the MVP, take it to the market, and then you need to get frequent reviews uh, from outside, within the organization, and address the issues, and you keep on improvising it. And then you start commercializing the product. And the key thing, as I mentioned, launch early to the market, because whatever ideas you have, there will be 1,000 more people who will be again doing or coming up with same ideas. So you need to be the first person hitting the market. Taking in case of Tesla, as you know, like Tesla is a car manufacturer or the automobile industries, which predominantly creates electric cars. So as soon as they built the cars, so they immediately took it to the market. Though on an automobile industry scale, they took like 2 to 5 years, which is a longer period for automobile industry. Or sorry, from a automobile industry, that's the shortest duration. How you can quickly build a car and take it to the market. One of the key problem what they addressed in this Tesla was electric mobiles, electric automotives was not first. Tesla was not the first company, as you might know. There are always like golf cars, like used in the golf playing industries, etc. So they are battery operated cars, which goes very slowly, and they are predominantly used to travel within a small area, like let's say a golf course, or within a particular hospital or particular manufacturing industry, etc. But Tesla identified that as one of the key problem, and what they told was they want to build the fastest car. So they identify the problem within a particular electric automobiles, and then they built the fastest car. And you have seen over a period of time how it has improved gradually. And actually that helped in creating the latest billionaire or the richest person in the world as well. So one day as an entrepreneur, you need to think on those lines, saying that what is a problem I'm going to solve and how I can make a change to the environment, how I can make a change to the industry, and how I can help the globe. And as soon as you build solutions, you need to keep on measuring it and you need to keep on improvising it. And that's a final session from my side. I mean, that's concludes my session for today. And if there are any questions, I'm happy to take the questions. And thanks everyone for joining this session and happy to take up the questions now. So NFED, do you want to guide them about how to ask the question or unmuting themselves, etc.? Or in the meantime, if you want to raise the hand and share the sorry for that, share the questions via chat window, I'm happy to answer your queries.
So thank you, Mr. Nanda Kumar.
Hi,
So
thank you.
yeah, participants can unmute themselves for any queries you can ask.